Konnichiwa! Hello, this is DJ and producer Christo Electric, and today,
the age-old question.
Which comes first, EQ or compression?
Alright, so let's get into it. As you can see, this tutorial is going to be done within Logic Pro 10, but these ideas and concepts are the exact same for any other EQ and compressor you go to. The dynamic processing is the same. You can go over to the hardware side of things and they're the exact same. So getting into it, you'll see I have a few tracks here, but really the 16 or 17 we're really paying attention to are just duplicates. Half of them are duplicates of these guys. So these first 8, let's just take a look at what we're going to be working with. This up here is bounced out versions of these 8 tracks. There's a few more over here. And what they are is just to give you a visual interpretation of what's going on the output side of these two processors. So this first guy, which is represented right here, is an equalizer first and then the compressor. The second one is the compressor first and then the EQ. And same right here, EQ, compressor, compressor, EQ. These are really the exact same over here, but I'll explain those later. These EQs, first 2 are additive, so they have boosts in them. You see they're the exact same. Where these 2 are reductive, so they have cuts made into them. And you can see the cuts are the same as the boosts on this other side. So I over-compressed and I really boosted the EQ a little bit on these examples just to show for demonstration purposes. So I don't suggest compressing as much as I am here, or at least if you wanted to be transparent, but I mean it's really down to whatever style you're going after. And I'm not going to really tell you how I feel about any of these tracks. I think they're up to interpretation. However you feel you want your product to sound, then so be it. So there's a lot of people throwing out advice out there, but this age-old question of EQ or compressor first, I think is really just down to you. So the general idea is that if you put an EQ before a compressor, like in here, then you should always use reductive EQ rather than boosting. And on the flip side, if you're going to put the compressor first in the signal chain, then you should be boosting or additive EQ afterward in the signal chain. But of course, this is music, it's art, there is no rules, so that's totally up to you. These are just general guidelines that you see all over the internet and from mixing engineers and such. So what I did is, these first 2 tracks are additive EQ. So and these second 2 are reductive EQ. The compressor on these guys is exactly the same. I have almost 10-to-1 ratio. Threshold input, everything remains the same on all of the compressors across the board here. So I have the equalizer first in the signal chain and then a compressor here. Compressor first, then EQ, same. EQ and then compressor, compressor, EQ. These 2 are reductive EQ, these 2 are additive or EQ. So let's go ahead and take a look at these 4 channels right here. This number right here on the right side is going to show you the peak of that channel. You just have an idea of what is being bounced, what the output of this signal chain is going to look like, and you can see a visual interpretation as well. This is obviously a lot smaller of a waveform than this, so just keep an eye on these guys.
Got my teeth on a wedding ring. Got my teeth on a wedding ring. Got my teeth on a wedding ring. Got my teeth on a wedding ring.
Okay, so now we worked the way through these 4 tracks. Like I said, there's a lot of compression going on, so just for example. But you can see whenever the compressor is second in the signal chain, then there's more control to the volume. When the EQ is second in the signal chain, of course, depending on how big or small your cut or boost is, is going to adjust the dynamic range. So this channel right here is by far the loudest. It's at minus 6.5 decibels. And so that's just an example there. I'm going to, just to show you on another little piece of audio. Exact same test, so keep an eye on these levels again.
In the movies, in the movies, in the movies, in the movies.
And we have really similar results right here. So these next tracks, let's get over here to them, is really the exact same thing is going on. And you can see the EQs again are the same, the compressors are the same, just as before. But this is showing you the importance that you should maintain a leveled balance throughout your signal chain. To ensure you're not gaining volume from the start before you add any plugins, by the end, when you have all your plugins in here, you should be getting the same output volume. And you can do that by running the plugins in bypass mode. So by starting at the top of your signal chain, just turn these guys off. Actually, we'll go over here. So you turn both of these off and open up the whatever's on the top of your signal chain. And you're going to listen to this with it bypassed and then unbypass it. And if you're getting a hotter signal, something louder, then pull down your output, your outs right here on this particular plugin. But there's always an output on your plugin, and it might vary where it's located. But just pull down or boost up your output if you are losing or you're gaining too much volume with the plugin. And just use your ears. Go back and forth with the bypass and just judge for yourself. Another way, you could always look at the levels and determine that way, but I don't like to trust the meters as much, so make sure to use your ears on that. So what I did with these guys is it's exact same processing, so you can see the waveforms are a lot closer than they were before. There's not so much variation in them. Because I made sure that I have the gain set properly on each one of these. So as we go through here, you should see on these 4 tracks, they should have the exact same peak or clip. And so really this is a true test of, well, what sounds better, EQ first or compressor first. They go in the same order as before, equalizer first, then compressor, compressor, equalizer, vice versa. These are additive, and these are reduced cut EQs. So let's take a listen here.
Got my teeth on a wedding ring, 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 got my...
So, build your own opinion, and I'll go ahead and I'll just play this next set of examples, and then I'll just loop it through a couple times so you can really get an idea of, well, which you prefer. And make sure to go in your own DAW, take your own samples, different kind of material, doesn't have to be vocals, drums, guitars, whatever you want, and run these tests for yourself. And playing around with this stuff is really what's going to sell you on one technique or another. For different scenarios, you might use different techniques. So take a listen to the second set of examples.
In the movies, in the movies, in the movies, in the movies, in the movies.
And let's go ahead and take a listen to all of these back to back. Judge, make your opinions, and I'll even close down this guy so you can see some blown up waveforms, and maybe it'll help you make your opinion if you can visually see what's going on as well.
Got my teeth on a wedding ring, got my teeth on a wedding ring, got my teeth on a wedding ring, got my teeth on a wedding ring. In the movies, in the movies, in the movies, in the movies.
And keep in mind, you're not obviously not limited to a single compressor, single EQ. You can throw on gates and limiters and whatever you want. This is just for the basics. So to kind of show you, there's benefits to running multiple compressors. It's a popular technique. And if you last in the compression, what we're going to do here is really look at these two files up here. I guess I can solo myself so you can hear me. And we'll A/B between these two. This is exact same file. And here you can see the track we listened to earlier. It's compressed right here with a single compressor with a ratio of 10:1. And I wrote this down in a little note so you can see. This is a single compressor with a ratio of 10:1. The second guy is exactly the same compressor settings and EQ settings, besides the ratio between the two compressors are both 5:1, so in theory you're obtaining a combined ratio of 10:1. This is a very popular technique used by even the most successful mixers in their tracks, and the idea is that you're spreading the load across multiple units of the compressors, and they can more successfully do their job while appearing more transparent and even louder. Without actually being any louder. So just watch the meters. You'll see these obtain the same output volume. Let me pull back up the mixer here. You'll see they obtain the same output volume, but they sound very different. And it's a technique I use quite often. So let's take a listen.
Got my teeth on a wedding ring. Got my teeth on a wedding ring.
And you can just, this guy appears much louder to me.
In the movies, in the movies.
And even with that much compression, a ratio of 10:1, this guy also seems more transparent to me. And this is just with the exact same compressor in parallel with one another. This is just happened to be Fab Filters, but. And this is, like I said, a popular technique. And if you use like hardware, for instance, the RNC really nice compressor is one I have, and I really like it. And the feature they have, and this is a cheaper unit, but I mean, get really pro sound out of this thing. This is also features you see in higher end compressors. They, with a single set of controls within the compressor, use a single threshold ratio, attack all that. You're actually controlling multiple compressors. It has multiple compressors in the unit. So in the case of the RNC, it has 3 compressors in parallel. So you saw just the power of running 2 compressors in parallel. So 3 is even clearer and better. So what I'll do is I think next week or a week or so from now, I'm going to work on another video for you guys showing a hardware version of kind of a signal workflow, and I'll show off that a DBX 166 and the RNC running in parallel, and show you the kind of results you can get out of those guys. So I hope this was helpful. I know it doesn't really answer that age-old question, but you yourself have to make the determination what works best for you, or what works best on a particular track. And go and practice, have fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to click down here below in the description and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, listen to my music, and follow me on SoundCloud. And your support helps, because then, well, I'll make more tutorials and more music, and it's great fun. So thank you guys so much. Take it easy. Again, this is Christo Electric. Peace.